Alright everyone, can I get eyes up the front and pencils and pens down in 3, 2, 1. Yep, that's really good to see that most of you have done that. Thanks to those of you who are still getting that done. Yep, fantastic. So, I really want to get through the answers to our warm-up questions here quickly so then we can move on to some more exciting stuff that I've got planned later on in the lesson. But while we're going through our answers for these, I just want everyone to keep their pens down and not take down any correct answers or mark your work or anything like that, because I'm going to collect all your books at the end of the lesson and take those home so I can have a look through and give you guys some feedback on where you're at, because we're going to be moving on from our financial maths after this. So just wanted to check where you guys are all at. So can anyone tell me how they went about solving question 1? Yep, Ricky, what do you have, mate? Yep, so you had $1.50 per paper, fantastic. Okay, then what do you do next? Yep, that's really good, yep. Multiplied by $150, 150 newspapers, sorry. Yep, so you've noticed that our special word each is in there, so it means we're going to be multiplying. Yep, that's really good. So what did you do with the remaining $20? Yeah, added on. Yep, that's really fantastic. So, what did you get from that? $245? Yep. Yeah, I would agree with that, I believe. So, did everybody else get that answer? Yeah, that looks like most of you. That's really good to see. So, moving on to our second question here. Did anybody want to have a stab at that one? Samantha and her part-time job. Yep, Steve. Okay. Yep, so $14 per hour. There it is again. So we're going to multiply that by number of hours. Yep, that's absolutely right. So 25. And then what did you do from there, mate? Yep, okay, so started minusing our way at our expenses. So that's really good. So what do we have? 50 for groceries, that's right. 20 for entertainment, yep. 40 for fuel and 25 for discretionary spending. And I'll just stop you there for a second. Does anyone remember what discretionary spending is? Yeah, Richard? Yeah, that's exactly right. It's the spending on stuff that you don't really need, but you want to have it just for comfort reasons. Yeah, that's absolutely right. So, going back over to Steve, what did you get as your answer for this one, mate? Yeah, $215. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Seems like most of you are sort of nodding along. I'm guessing that means you got the same answer. Right, so we'll quickly move on from that again. And then, who wanted to have a go at our third question? Yep, Hermione. Okay. So, $1,500 after tax. Yep, good start. Okay. Taking away our expenses. Yeah, that's fantastic. Minus 100 for utilities, 200 for fuel, 200 for groceries, and then 100 for our discretionary spending again. Yeah, that's fantastic. Okay, and then you think you got $900. Okay. It's not quite the answer I got. Can anybody tell me what they might have done a bit different? Yeah, Caitlin? Yep. Yeah, that's what I was hunting. Yep. So, even though it's not saving, even though it's not spending, sorry, the savings still need to come off of that number. Because that $300 is still money that Mr. Smith isn't spending on rent. So we need to minus that away. Don't worry about making that mistake, Hermione. It's quite common. So, Caitlin, what did you get after taking that $300 away? Yep. Yeah, so you end up with $600 left over for rent at the end of that. So, who got that one right? Yep, okay. Less of you for that one, but that's all good. So, we will move on now to hopefully something that's a bit more interesting than just our warm-up questions. So you'll probably have noticed, and I noticed some of you have been mucking around with them already, that I've put 2 sticky notes on the front of your desk today. So what I want you to do quickly is I want you to grab the first of those sticky notes and I want you to write down one thing, just one thing on that note that you think you might put in a budget, and then come up here and stick it on the board for me. Good to see some of you have already started on that. Right. Got a few answers already. That's really good to see. So we've got fuel, fairly obvious one. Rent, very good. Groceries, yeah. We've got discretionary spending. That's a really good one. Yep. Utilities, yep, that's important. Our phone plans, yep. That'll be high on the list for you guys at least. Yep. Okay, seems like we've got a pretty good list here. That's good to see. One thing I didn't notice is Centrelink allowances. That's another thing that might come into it. And we've also got income up there too. That's good to see. Yeah, because it's sometimes easier to fall into the trap of thinking about, okay, I'm looking at just our expenses for a budget, when you need to be thinking about how much money do you have to take those expenses out of. So that's really good to see. So now what I want you to do is I want you to take that second sticky note and I want you to write down one of the maths words, the maths terms that I've been talking about these last couple of weeks. So that's things like when I've been saying, warm up per means that we should be multiplying. So if I could get you guys just to take down a few of those terms for me and come and throw those up on the board, maybe up in the top corner away from those budgeting things. Yep, so some of you have put per down. Yep, that's fair enough. What else have we got? Yep, got a few others there. That's good to see. Yep, got a few different things up there. Okay, right. So what I'm going to do is I'll leave mine up there for now. But what I want you to do is I want you to be thinking about those words when we're going through our budgeting activity today. So what we're doing is we're making a budget, a monthly budget, and we'll say, just to keep things nice and simple, that a month will be 4 weeks. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to put yourselves in the shoes of, I'm about to leave uni. Not uni, school. I'm about to leave school, what I want to be doing after school. So when you guys are going through this, I want you to be thinking about, okay, what might my personal budget look like when I'm leaving school based on what I think I'm going to do. So hopefully at the end of today's lesson, you guys will have learned a little bit about, okay, these are the sorts of things I'm going to be spending money on. This is how much money I could be making and things like that. So what I want you to do is I want you to think about if you're going to university, right? So thinking about all these words and terms we've got up on the side here in our budget elements and things like that, you need to be thinking about, okay, if I'm doing uni, I might be moving out of town and going to Brisbane and places like that. Even though you can do uni here in town, it's likely that you might go to Brisbane. So with that, your rent is probably going to be higher. You need to research that. You might have to pay for parking or pay for public transport if you're going there. You'll probably be working part-time alongside uni. So these are the sorts of things you need to be thinking about. Okay, what's different about my budget based on my situation? And then if you're not planning on doing university, you're planning on maybe staying local, doing a trade or going straight into work, you need to be thinking about that as well. So, all right, you're going to be on more money probably, working full-time instead of part-time. You might be spending more on fuel, driving to and from work and things like that. And your rent is probably going to be lower because you won't be in the big city where rents tend to be a bit higher. So you need to be thinking about these sorts of things when you're making your budget. And I want all you guys to try your hardest, and you can pair up if you feel like you've got an elbow buddy next to you who is planning on doing similar things to you after school. But I want you guys to do a bit of research and think about, okay, what might my budget look like when I leave school? So did anybody have any questions on that before we start? No? Okay, right. So I'll come around in a little bit and I'll have a quick look at what you guys are doing and I'll try and help you guys out where I can as well. I've also got some websites and things like that up here if you guys wanted them as well. So just make sure you're asking if you're feeling like you're a bit stuck on finding websites. So I'll leave you guys to it. Make sure you put up your hand if you need any help.